Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Athletes Roundtable. This podcast is brought to you by Athleisure Productions, the best place to find Iona highlight reels, podcasts, and much more. Today, we are joined by
Daniel, Davy.
All right, Daniel, what grade are you in?
Currently, I'm a sophomore.
And
that's nice.
where are you from?
I am originally from London, but I've been living in Connecticut for the last 3 years. So, yeah.
Very nice. How is it living in London or outside of London?
It's definitely different. To say the least. But, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the biggest difference from living in London to living in Connecticut?
I think the size of the place here is so much bigger. You cannot get away with not having a mode of transport here. You can kind of do it in London.
And would you say the food is different too?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really? In what way?
Portion sizes are bigger here. I think the food is a little bit definitely sweeter here as well. Yeah.
Do you prefer the food here or in London?
Just put me on the spot. Honestly, I do miss food back home.
Mhm.
I do miss food back home.
And what's your major?
Major, I'm an entrepreneurship major.
Very nice.
So, what position on the club soccer team do you play?
I normally am a centre back, but I
Mhm.
do have experience playing in midfield for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for those of us that don't know soccer, I'm not really too familiar with soccer. What is a center back?
Centre back is a part of the defence, so it's the central position in the defence. It's basically the last line of defence before you reach the goalkeeper.
Gotcha. So now, how would you say you first got into soccer?
Being from England, it's literally the sport that we play there. It is like all that is played. So break times, lunch times, any free time that we had, even if it's 20 versus 20, we're out there playing. Not throughout the lunchtime, however, we'd even miss lunch just to go and play.
How early were you, or how young were you when you first started, would you say?
As young as probably 4 or 5 years old, I would
Wow.
say. So it's been a while.
Started young, huh?
Yeah, been a while.
So,
Been a while.
would you say soccer is the most global sport?
We've had this discussion so many times. Yeah, definitely. It is. It definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, rugby's kind of global there.
Oh, it is big over there. That's another one I've played. But yeah,
Oh, you played rugby. What did you play? What position do you play in rugby?
winger.
Winger. Okay, that's the end, like the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's a winger or not. But yeah, we didn't
Why did
really.
you stop playing rugby?
I don't know. I didn't really think it was that big over here, but come to Iona, I realized, okay, yeah, it is bigger than I did think.
It's big here. I don't
Yeah.
think it's big anywhere
Oh,
else
yeah.
in the U.S.
I think that's what it is.
What is your favorite part of playing soccer?
I think it's the fact that and I think most athletes will be able to say this, as soon as you get onto that pitch, everything just goes, and that's all that you're thinking about. I think that makes it so special for me, like being able to just forget about everything that's going on off the field, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on the club soccer team.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get on to the D1 team?
That would be an ambition of mine eventually at some point, yeah.
How has club soccer helped you to reach that goal of trying to reach the D1 team?
Well, I think we've seen with the coach the work he puts in both on and off the field with us. You know, I can see a clear pathway to the D1 team eventually, and you know, it's just about me working hard, putting in the effort, both in training, out of training, in my free time. So, yeah, I feel optimistic.
So in club soccer, what is your daily training?
So we'd start off with a little warm up, you know, and then we'd get into little small-sided games, talk about some tactical stuff, and yeah, we'd eventually go into a bigger game where we can, you know, implement what we've learned during that, you know, the initial stage of the training.
So do you have games every week or multiple games? One game?
At this point, it's just whenever we can get them, but
Okay.
it's yeah, normally it's weekly. At the end, either Friday or Saturday, we have games.
Okay.
So yeah,
And club soccer goes to other schools and plays against them, right? It's not
Yeah.
just in Iona.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what would you say is the big difference? I know it's club soccer, not D1, but what would you say is the big difference between playing soccer in college versus playing it in high school?
Truthfully, I don't know how well I can answer this because I only spent a year in high school, which would have been COVID year. So, but I think this pace, the intensity is definitely a lot different. There's definitely a massive difference in intensity, and the way that you have to carry yourself has to be a lot different. Because obviously.
So you only played 1 year in high school, you said.
Yeah.
Why didn't you play the other 3?
That's when I moved to America.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were saying earlier how your favorite part of playing your sport is just like letting everything go when you step onto the pitch.
Yeah.
Would you say you have too much pressure like outside of your sport, like being a college athlete?
I wouldn't say that there's too much pressure. I'm not someone who likes to put pressure on myself. I like to just take things as they come. So for me, there's not a whole heap of pressure on me, to be honest.
So now, if it's game day, let's say, would you say you're more excited, more nervous for the game? What's the feeling going on through you?
It's more excitement. I'm just very focused, very set on the game and making sure that I put in everything I have. But there are games obviously that you're nervous because some games are massive. So it's all about channeling that nervous energy into your performance on the pitch.
Would you say that playing soccer in England was more competitive than here, or vice versa?
Yeah, I definitely say it's more competitive over there. I think there's more passion over there for sure. But I think the competition levels and the passion over here is definitely taking me by surprise.
Do you think that playing soccer early on in England like prepared you to be a better soccer player here with more passion?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely.
Do you have any goals? Like you were saying, you want to reach the D1 team, but do you have any goals for like upcoming season, like next year, or goals for yourself, the team?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to get this team as far as we can. We've gotten a lot of new players this season, a lot of good players as well, and I think that the season we've gotten stronger as the season's gone on. So it's just about going into next season and taking in how we've ended this season into the next season.
So as we talked about before, you were originally from London. Why did you choose to come to Iona?
Truthfully, Iona was one of the first schools I actually looked at. It's one of the first schools I found. And there was a few things I was looking for. I was looking for far enough away from home. I was looking for something that had courses I was interested in and something that could offer D1 soccer. And Iona could do all three. So here I am.
Would you say it has lived up to your expectations?
I would say so. I would say so far. I think it's been a pretty good experience so far. I've got to meet so many good people, and I can see opportunities all around campus.
Outside of soccer and school, do you have any hobbies that you like to partake in?
I'm someone who has to be doing something. I can't be sat.
Same.
That's me. That is fully me. If someone says we want to go here today, I'll be more than happy to go. Whatever it is, just give me an idea, and I'm more likely than not going to consider it.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other sports you like to play?
I did track and field previously. I've done track and field. Obviously, I've played football with you guys, American football.
Proper football.
Yeah, proper. Yes, I agree, Jordan.
We've. I'm open to playing a lot of sports. I like playing sports. As I said, I'm a person who likes to do things.
So video games or anything? Any of that?
Video games, yeah. I play FIFA. That is a big one I do play.
He does lose a lot, but
I don't know about that one.
As we were mentioning, like you play track and field and rugby. If you couldn't play soccer, would you have pursued one of those sports?
If anything, it would have probably been track and field. I did 100 meters and I did discus. Yeah, so I was pretty competitive at those two.
For track and field, did you enjoy the training or was it really difficult?
The training is definitely different. I would say I did enjoy it from what I did do of it. For sure.
And then, would you say you enjoyed the training for soccer as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Being around everyone, in any sport, everyone who has the same ambition, the same goal. It's brilliant being around everyone who's on the same page.
So, walk me through a little bit of the practice, because like for the club soccer team, do you do like a lot of endurance running and training and stuff like that, or are you more focused on like different aspects of soccer itself with like the ball? And
Yeah,
such?
we're mostly focused on having the ball as much as we can, and getting as many touches as we can, passing between each other. That's the main focus, because obviously we want to be able to put it onto the pitch. I think with endurance and stuff like that, that's more something you can do in your own time. So I think the coach wants us to do that more in our own time, rather than, wasting a lot of time on things that can be done elsewhere.
How do you and the rest of your players like try to inspire each other as the season progresses?
It's all about, preparation mentally. We constantly in the chat, we're talking and, getting each other up for the game. We'll have our team talk beforehand, before stepping out onto the pitch, before training, whatever it is, we'll have our team talk and, we'll, pump each other up, get each other up, have music, yeah.
What is the biggest like lesson you learned from club soccer?
So far this year, the club soccer, the biggest lesson, I think, with hard work, you can achieve anything. And just having a positive team vibe, like team energy around. Last year, I think we definitely could have had a better vibe around the team, but this year we've seen, people showing up to training, everything. It's just made it so much more enjoyable, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Who or what would you say are your biggest inspirations in life?
I'd definitely say my mother has to be up there somewhere. I've seen all that she's done, and the way she makes it look so effortless, I have to sit back and admire it.
Does club soccer take up a lot of your time, or not necessarily?
Not particularly. It doesn't take up too much, because things like gym and stuff like that is part of my normal schedule anyway. So, it doesn't take up all that much.
So then, are you in any other clubs or anything?
I'm currently with the BSU. I'm doing the BSU, and with the WISE, which is the West Indies. I don't know what it stands for, but yeah, some West Indies club. So yeah, I'm part of that as well.
Very nice.
Who would you say is like your biggest inspiration in soccer? Like, who do you take the most inspiration from, and who do you try to mimic their game play?
In terms of inspiration, I think Cristiano Ronaldo is obviously a massive inspiration. Obviously, I'm a Man United fan as well. So, seeing how he pushes himself to be the best, it is very inspirational. And as for who I mimic, there's a number of players that I can say I look up to and want to be like. Right now, I'd probably say, right now, the best in my position in the world is Van Dijk. So I think that's someone that you've got to look up to.
Mm.
So I know you're pursuing the D1 team right now. Do you want to pursue soccer after college, after you graduate?
Yeah, that would be the ambition. It's just to get as far as I can. Because, as I say, it's a sport I've played for my whole life, basically. So I want to see where I end up with it.
Would you want to be a coach as well if you
Oh,
can't?
yeah, definitely.
play?
Definitely.
Mm.
Coaching is so much fun, honestly.
It is. I've had a few experiences so far. I'm seeing if I can get my badges. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in pursuing that.
Mm. So then, if you can't do that, say, I don't know, maybe you get a career-ending injury.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but let's say it happens. What would you then want to do? You said you were an entrepreneurship major. So is there something you'd want to do with that, or is there something else you'd like to do for the rest of your life?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something I'd be looking at, pursuing as well. Business ideas. I'm a big fan of construction and architecture, so that's something I would do. Obviously, I'd do something with soccer as well with that, hopefully. So, yeah, that would be my ambition.
Would you want to start your own company?
I think that is probably the ultimate goal.
Okay. Might take a little time. But
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Daniel, so much for joining our show this week. And thank you to all of you who are listening. We will be back next week with a brand new show, so please stay tuned. This has been the Athletes Roundtable. This is Ryan.
Jordan.
Signing off.